G'day there guys, wishes he was Steve Irwin. It's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, smack that like button, and enjoy today's bloody good stories. Thank you. Posted by user Purple Flavored Cherry. Titled, Am I the A-hole for refusing to go buy food for anyone in my household anymore? So everyone eats my food. If there are leftovers or takeout, my dad and sister will pick it off until there's just a little bit left for me. If I buy food and keep it in the fridge until my mealtime, they'll ask each other if they can eat it. For example, I had a sandwich. I ate half of it and literally announced, I'm going to save this for dinner when I get back home. Everyone acknowledges what I said. So I come home and it's gone. I ask where it is. My ma said that my sister ate it. I ask her why she ate it. She said our ma told her she could. So I go back and ask our ma why she told my sister she could have it, and she says, oh, I didn't think you wanted it. So I start leaving notes on my food. Then it's, oops, sorry OP, I didn't see the note. Or, well, I was just so hungry, but there's blank in the fridge. It's not that our parents don't buy groceries either, but I work so much that by the time I can sit down and enjoy food, most of it's gone. It doesn't matter who bought the groceries. It's the same way even when I buy them. So now I'm refusing to pay for anyone's food, ever. I'm just so frustrated. I literally cried a little bit because I'm so tired of all the food being eaten. I'm so hungry. Think I have tasty food at home, and it's gone. All I've been eating lately are bologna sandwiches and 99-cent instant ramen. Of course, everyone in my family thinks I'm petty and immature. My sister is upset because she gets like $30 a week from her job, she's 15, and I get paid almost 10 times that. I don't think I'm being immature. This is the only way I can think of getting my point across. That all said, I would be lying if I said I didn't feel a tiny bit guilty. Am I the a-hole? Again, I can sympathize with why you feel guilty in this situation because, it's hard when everyone's yelling at you saying that you're in the wrong and that this should just be a normal expectation that they're going to be eating your food and you're the one with the problem here. It's hard to break out of that crazy cyclone of just psychopathy and craziness and gaslighting. I can sniff all this gas and it's lighting me up right now. Rest assured, I think you know in your heart of hearts that you're not the problem here. Just take it one day at a time, be sane and be safe, and sort yourself out in this situation. Maybe it's time to find other options to keep the food from them, or other options to get yourself away from this family. I'm gonna go with not the a-hole. And in the comments, Alyssa2579 says, not the a-hole. You should buy yourself a mini fridge to keep in your room. I was thinking the same thing, but getting a hinge to put on it so you can lock it up. Amazon is your friend. Look up refrigerator door lock with padlock, and you get a couple of inexpensive options. Empty Flounder says, not the a-hole. You haven't said how old you are, but can you afford to move out, buy yourself a fridge and put it in your room with a lock on it? Your family are being the petty, immature ones, and quite honestly, have no respect for you. Seriously, buy yourself, we call them bar fridges in Australia. See if you can get a lock for it and put it in your room. That way, at least your food, etc. won't go missing. And OP replies, I'm 21, and that is something I'm very seriously considering to buy. I guess I was just wondering if I was being equally immature or petty. Totally not immature or petty. They are not respecting you and playing dumb that they didn't know you wanted it. They really have not left you any options. Thank you for your comment, it really means a lot. Devious Cheesecake replies, hey, I just wanted to say, I know those feelings. That feeling of having a really long and really hard, that's what she said, day, and remembering you have something nice to eat, and a video or episode. For me, it was YouTube, Markee YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, to watch when you get home. So you can sit, eat, and chill. Then you get home and that food is gone. If you had known that it wouldn't be there, you would have just picked something up on the way home. But nope, now you're just tired and the emotions come flooding through because that was your thing to enjoy for the evening. I've been there. I've had literal tears over food, and it wasn't until the people that made me feel silly over it experienced the same thing did they understand it. I definitely owned a mini fridge all through college and uni for that very reason. I became very good at hiding food. Not the a-hole, by the way. And user Electronic Dealer 71 says, "Not the a-hole. I feel so bad for you right now. No one should have to be in this situation in which they can't even come home and enjoy the food that they bought for themselves with their own money. If this was like an occasional thing, that would be fine. However, this is recurring, so your reaction is expected. Although you were not the a-hole, be prepared for some backlash from your parents and sister. This might happen, and if you prepare for it now, it's probably better. Then again, most likely nothing will happen, so you're fine. Have a nice day, OP, and I hope you can eat your own food later." And OP replies, "Oh, my sister is already really annoying about it, because she's trying to save up for some full-body mirror or whatever, and my dad thinks I'm being childish about it. My ma feels bad that she forgets about it being my food, but it happens very frequently. When someone forgets that many times, it means they don't care. This, forgetting once is, I had something else on my mind and forgot. Forgetting multiple times means this wasn't important enough for me to make an effort to listen, remember, and care about it." And back to that original post, OP has some edits. Edit: "Thank you sincerely to everyone who took the time to respond. As annoyed and frustrated as I was also worried that I was being silly, immature, and overreacting. I will look into getting a small fridge to keep food in my room. Again, thank you. Edit 2, please stop suggesting that I spike my food or poison my family. Final edit, thank you to everyone who left messages and ideas on how to proceed with this. I don't think I can have a small refrigerator, but I do intend on getting a lockbox for the fridge and finding a hiding spot in my room for non-perishable snacks and such. It's embarrassing it has come to that, but I think you guys are right. Your comments have made me realize I have much deeper problems at hand than my family eating my food. My dad and my sister have entitlement issues, and my mother is an enabler by being so passive about it. I'm going to think of ways I can stand up for myself effectively. Thank you all for taking the time to leave support and advice, even though you didn't have to. It really does mean a lot to me." And now on to the update. Hello there. Since so many people were gracious enough to leave advice on how to handle this, I decided I'd give you guys an update. So I decided I wasn't going to get a mini fridge for my room, but I did get a little cage for the family fridge to keep my leftovers in. My ma thinks it's ridiculous, but accepts it. My dad, surprisingly to be honest, thought it was hilarious, and it made my sister really annoyed, because she thought I was overreacting. As for everything else, I went to Target and got a storage box to keep my snacks in and put it in a safe spot in my room. Many people's comments made me realize that my issue at hand was far bigger than my family eating my food. So at dinner, I talked to everyone at once about how I felt towards their food thievery. My ma was immediately regretful, and I do believe that she feels bad. She offered to immediately replace the food that was eaten, but I said it was okay. I don't want compensation, I just want it to stop. My dad, I'm not sure if he feels bad, but I did remind him that out of the two of them, I'm the only one that actually leaves the house and works on their feet. They work from home. So I think that I'm entitled to having my own food without worrying about it going anywhere. He seemed to have gotten the message. My sister didn't take it well. I'll spare the details, but it was a long and loud rant about how she doesn't eat that much of my food, and I was starting to annoy her. I don't eat as much quantity-wise as the rest of my family does. Apparently, her logic was that since I'm not currently eating it, it should be okay for her to eat it instead. My ma tried to help me explain my feelings to her, but she started yelling louder and stormed away. Her attitude is a different can of worms for another day. In the end, I am very confident that the situation has been worked out. I'm glad that I was able to successfully communicate to my parents about how I feel, and that I now have a system put in place where I can actually eat the food I buy without having to worry about someone else taking it. Thank you again to everyone who left advice and pointed out what the real problem actually was. In the comments, Nolan358 says, "Fantastic. Just be wary of your sister trying to tamper with what you leave in the fridge now just to be spiteful." Oh, definitely. I still have my eye on her. I'm more relieved that my dad seems to understand how I feel, though. I have one of those little fridge cages as well. Mine has a number code lock, non-digital. It was to prevent my younger brother from eating various things, like the grated cheese, feta, and some other stuff that was bought for me to eat or to be used in dinners. It took some time to convince my mum to let me put the cage in the fridge, but it works pretty well. My sibling wasn't very amused either at first. I also told him that if he breaks it, he pays for a new one. It's become normal to see it in the fridge now, and my mom even sometimes asks for some of her stuff to be put in the fridge cage. Lime Rays says, "Food thievery in my childhood led to some very damaging eating habits that I'm still battling as an adult. My brother stole my food and candy a lot. My parents were genuinely trying and always made him spend his allowance to replace it and started locking up certain things. So I started overeating a lot, so it wasn't there for him to steal. Still a constant and ongoing battle with myself to not eat an entire package of candy or cookies or a whole pizza in one sitting. I drink a lot of water and chew on food that's safe but inedible things a lot to keep my mouth otherwise occupied when food anxiety kicks in. Honestly, me too. I've been unpacking this year, but I have food FOMO because I knew if I waited to eat my treat or dinner until I was actually hungry, my older brother would eat it, and I would get none. So now I eat even when I'm not hungry because I want to get my taste or my share of something before it disappears." And Father Son Holy Toast says, "That's wonderful, OP. I'm glad it all worked out. If I may ask, what did you say at dinner to your family to explain your feelings about their food thievery?" I said something along the lines of, "I feel like I need to talk about what happened the other night, my last straw. It's ridiculous that you, my dad, and sister ate 15 cookies in one day, and even more ridiculous when you, my sister, got mad at me because I wouldn't share the last 4 with you, especially when you know that I was the one who asked for them. If you wanted some, you should have asked. I feel like I'm being disregarded when I come home, and I found out my snacks and leftovers have been eaten. I'm the only one in this house who actually leaves the house to work on her feet. This might be my dad's house, and your fridge, but why can't you go out and get food for yourself instead of eating mine? Isn't that what you always say? That you'll always be my dad and I'll always be your child?" That's the comprehensive summary of what I said, because my sister kept trying to interrupt me. She told me that I was being immature for being upset about cookies. So I said, "It's not about just cookies. How many times have you eaten my leftovers that I brought for myself? How many frozen dinners or sandwich material have you eaten? It's fine if you want to have some, but can you at least ask me when I do? Did you even consider that I buy them for myself? Did you consider that maybe those were things I wanted to eat when I came home?" Again, that's just the gist of what I said. That's when she went on a spiel about how I don't actually eat my food, she doesn't even eat that much, and she should be allowed to eat it if I don't. My ma tried to remind her that once I bought healthy snacks for myself, and as soon as I took them out of the grocery bag, my sister opened the bag and poured out a bowl without even acknowledging at me. But then she got even more upset and left the dinner table. Sorry if that was confusing to follow. I'm mostly glad that my dad seemed to get the point. Wow. Your sister actually said that you don't eat your food. The reason for the entire conversation is that you don't eat your food because they eat it. Kudos to your mum for pointing out what your sister did concerning your snacks. Kudos to you for having a rational discussion. Your sister has issues that are more than just the food. Seems as if there's a bigger issue which needs to be addressed if she cannot see how bad her behavior is, and then becomes angry when it's brought up in a rational discussion. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do about it. She doesn't take criticism at all, and they make her feel like she's being personally attacked. This was probably a 4 to 5 on the scale if I had to rate her temper tantrums. Your sister has issues and appears to need some sort of counseling. You are not responsible for her behavior. Your parents need to address this and get to the root of her aggression. If not, then they just need to discipline her and really make the discipline stick. She cannot go through life like this. Others will not put up with her behavior. Posted by user Am I the A-hole throw? Titled, Am I the A-hole for outing my younger sister to my older sister? I'm not sure if there will be formatting issues as I'm on mobile. So I, 18 female, recently heard a very similar story on here where the OP got the A-hole verdict, so I kind of accepted that I'm the A-hole as well. However, I told my boyfriend about this, and he says that I'm not the A-hole. Well, I have 5 siblings. My older sister, 24 female, is getting married soon. Pandemic restrictions have been lifted in my area, and everyone that's coming needs to be tested. Mostly everyone is happy for my sister, except for my younger sister, who is almost 14. All she talks about is her. What cake flavor she likes, what dress she thinks bridesmaids should wear, what themes she wants. And since she's the second youngest, no one reminds her that it's not her wedding. Well, about 2 weeks ago, she told me her master planned to come out as a lesbian at her sister's wedding and have her cousin film it for TikTok. She planned on raising her hand when they asked for objections and come out to everyone. I kept telling her not to, but she says that I'm homophobic. I tried for a whole week to convince her not to, but then I decided to tell my older sister about her plans. She tried to speak to younger sister, but younger sister was pissed that I outed her and said that she will also tell everyone about both of our homophobia. My older sister decided that she couldn't come to the wedding. Now we're trying to figure out how to tell my mum without outing her again. So am I the a-hole for telling my sister about my younger sister's plans? And would I be the a-hole if I told my mum why my younger sister is no longer invited? Edit 1. Please don't say mean things about my little sister. Everyone in my family is adopted, including my parents, and older sister and I are the only ones who haven't been through trauma. We were both adopted from India when we were babies. My sister was in foster care until she was 9 and has been through a lot. She was almost drowned by her bio mum, shot by a cop for her race, and separated from her bio siblings, and so I don't want you guys thinking she's some spoiled brat. Someone mentioned that her normal meter is probably messed up, and that's true. She has a harder time understanding what's normal and what isn't. She's been in therapy since she's lived with us. Whoa, okay, I was gonna say that she sounds entitled and kind of disillusioned with things, doing that at a wedding. I guess her normal meter, being through all of that, really is off. And that would be very traumatizing, like, my god. I'm gonna go with a not the a-hole here, going soft on that one. I'm gonna say she still has to have accountability for her actions and realize that doing that at a wedding, objecting to come out as gay, to also be put on TikTok. There's a lot of things you shouldn't be doing here. There's a big list of things we shouldn't be doing. It's not right to do that, and yes, you've been through a lot and your normal meter is messed up because of these things. It's still not a good thing to do, and now is the time to realize, hey, it would be fine to out her for that because it puts her normal meter back on the straight and narrow. That's a lot of information in the edit that should have been in the original post. So, not the a-hole, oh my god. Now, in the comments, a lot of these people wouldn't have read this edit, so they're going to be giving their initial opinion. We'll send you a postcard says, "Not the a-hole. Younger sister sounds like one though. Seems like she just wants an audience and will use older sister's wedding for it. Also, younger sister needs to know what homophobia actually means." OP, if your older sister wants to invite the younger sister, I recommend her just asking the pastor, or the equivalent, to take out the "who objects" part of the speech. That way, the sister will not be expecting that part to be taken out and probably won't be able to come out dramatically. I've never understood why that part was included in a wedding ceremony anyway. What the hell? Why would you give anyone a chance to screw up your wedding? I'm sure there's some historical reason, but I just don't get it. The historical context was it took a long-ass time for news to travel way back when, so the raising objections part was a chance for parties to raise issues like that one of the parties was still illegally married to someone else or was wanted by the law. Or if someone there knew that the bride and groom were related, due to some previous generation shenanigans. Or one of the parties was a rogue priest or nun who hadn't officially recanted their vows, or one of them had been injured in such a way that they'd be incapable of having children and had concealed it from their partner. In short, actual legal challenges to the legitimacy of the marriage, not rom-com nonsense and certainly not what OP's little sister would want to use it for. Most officiants these days would just roll their eyes. And Zaru77 says, "Not the a-hole one bit. Your younger sister needs to learn that 1. Not everything is about her. 2. There is a time and a place for everything. And 3. It's not because you don't want her coming out at a specific time. That was for your older sister's wedding that you're homophobic," whatever that sentence means. I would have given your little sister a pass if she was really young, but the girl is 14. I'm 15. I know a lot of other 15-year-olds. None of us would ever make a wedding about ourselves, just basic courtesy. Your sister needs to grow a pair. Forgotten Realm says, "I generally say that outing someone's sexuality automatically makes you the a-hole, but this is kind of a different situation. As a homosexual myself, I understand wholeheartedly about being comfortable with who you are, and taking pride in being out and open about your sexuality. But there's a time and place when it's appropriate to come out, and at someone else's wedding is absolutely not the place. Your younger sister needed a wake-up call and to realize that a wedding is not the right time or place to do such a thing. You had all the right intentions to let your older sister know what your younger sister planned to do, so not the a-hole. As for telling your mother why younger sister is uninvited, I would just say she's not invited. If she asks why, I would just say something along the lines of, younger sister planned on causing a scene to draw attention to her and away from the bride and groom. Outing her to your mum would make you the a-hole though." And now on to the update. So we decided to have a family coming out party while older sis was away on her honeymoon. We had a great time and it was nice to bond with the family. Then the wedding. Older sister and her significant other decided to leave out the objections part. It was actually kind of funny to see my little sister's face when that happened. Other than that, the wedding was awesome, good food, nice dancing, at a beach. Well, now my younger sister has a girlfriend. After a little while, I showed her this thread, and she was really upset looking at all the responses. Not in a mad way, more in a confused way. She didn't realize, and has always struggled with how her actions may come across to someone besides herself. Also, please stop trying to diagnose my sister. She is not a sociopath. You really heard one story about one instance from a person's life and are ready to make a full diagnosis. Ugh, that annoyed me. However, thank you all for all your replies to my last post. They meant so much. Now in the comments, of the C95 says, "Wonderful update, and I have to ask, did she know she was having a coming out party, or did she still plan to come out at the wedding? What face did she make when she realized there would be no objections bit?" She did know about the party, and she just looked kinda confused. Starkov says, she's a young girl. Of course she isn't a sociopath. She's 14, and let's be honest, what 14-year-old, male, female, whatever you identify as, isn't thinking mostly about themselves? And I'm not trying to be an a-hole towards her, honestly, just stating that I'm glad it all worked out, and I'm glad y'all worked everything else out. Congratulations to your older sister on her marriage. This is a better resolution than I honestly thought when I first read your post. Happy to hear that you guys got a peaceful resolution. This was a way to support everyone in their own way and didn't piss anyone off, I think. And Cautious Actuator 432 says, not the a-hole, but why didn't you wait until your sister came back from the wedding to have the coming out party, unless I missed something? I'd assume it's so the sister wouldn't still make a scene and come out at the wedding. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.